We'll now call the business session of June 3, 2025 to order at 6:07 p.m. All council members are present today. This is great. Please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. We now go to the minutes. First item is to consider the minutes of May 20, 2025, the regular session city council meeting. These minutes were provided in your meeting packet. Are there any corrections? There being no corrections, the minutes stand as approved as submitted. The next item to consider is proclamations, and this is actually a recognition of our city academy graduates. Are they all here? Where are y'all? Right up in there. Okay, what we're going to do is I'm going to come down to the podium, and I think all of my council members are going to join me. We're going to have a little ceremony here, Millet. Congratulations, y'all. And we all want to participate in this because it's a great program that's put together by the Millet and the Neighborhood Association and just getting folks involved. And I appreciate you guys. It's a pretty rigorous curriculum if y'all look at it. And it's they know more about what's going on in the city than a lot of folks that work at the city, I'm sure. But anyway, I really appreciate your commitment. And I hope that you stay involved in the city and get involved in public service. And hopefully you're prepped to do that. Don't run for mayor against me, please, but otherwise, all good. All good. I look forward to seeing you guys in public service. I appreciate that. So what we're going to do here now is each person, Millet, why don't you come in and help here? Tell me what you want me to do.
Yeah, if you want to, Marissa will help you with certificates.
Okay.
I'll call out everybody's name, so if you want to stand over there near Deidre
Perfect.
or wherever you would like, Mayor. So good evening, everybody. Thank you, Mayor and Council, for allowing us this time to recognize these folks who have been spending 10 weeks learning all about different things city. And just so everybody in the audience knows, it's a 10-week course that teaches participation, how to participate in civic government, how to know more about your local government. We try to have as much interactive, fun stuff with all the different departments that present. There's 27 different department presentations that they go through over the 10-week course, 9 Thursdays and a Saturday. So they also must attend 8 out of 10 classes to graduate. So also have a couple of people definitely I need to thank. So please allow me to thank the city manager's office, city attorney's office, city secretary, and all 27 of those departments who did provide their time and their patience and help in doing all the things we did to try to make this a good academy that was informative and fun. Marissa Zuniga in my office and Crystal Anthony in my office. We are the mighty team of 3 that puts this little thing together. And then most importantly, I want to thank y'all, the attendees, the people who signed up for the class, who are now graduates of City Academy. Thank you for your interest in city government. Thank you for your commitment to learning, your inquiring minds, always wanting to know more. Most questions ever, this group. Most questions ever. Yeah, love, they were just really engaged, and it's really wonderful to see. So it's really been great to get to know all of you. I appreciate how much you have enjoyed learning and how some of your questions and participation helped us think about things differently and what we need to do to help maybe tell stories differently or better or more clearly. And now I would just like to ask that the mayor come back up here. We'll read one certificate, the first one, and then I'll call out everybody's names and they'll come through and get a certificate from you. He's just going to do the whole. So, you want me to read it, or you want to read it?
Why don't you read it, Mike, stand back here and
Okay. He always reads the proclamation, so.
Let me, maybe I should read it. Go ahead.
It's not a proclamation, it's a
not?
certificate,
Okay, hang on.
but,
You can both do them at the same time.
Okay. Here we, here we go.
ah,
I don't get to, okay, then we'll take a picture at the end. Okay. Where? Okay. Here we go. Ian Camacho. You right here, Regis?
Thank you so much.
Thank you, I appreciate it. I didn't even do it.
and you want me to read your name?
Yeah, let's read it.
Okay, and just a little side note, Ian's from District 4. So another District 4, Autumn Furnish. District 2, Ariel Gonzalez. District 5, Angela Jackson. District 3, Mary King. District 1, Imelda Martinez. District 5, Vanessa Martinez. So, District 3, Sarah Jane Menifee. District 5, Teresa Mangati. District 4, Carlos Perez. District 4, Leah Scott. District 4, Richard Simsick. District 1, Jacob Souter. District 2, Julie Sweet. District 5, Tommy Unger. And District 4, Melody Villanueva.
Now a group pick.
Yes, so
What, council member, you want to get on
let Kyle
top?
tell you where to get.
Should we get on top? All right, let's get back up here.
Once again, short people get in the front. I've said this a lot. Keep on squishing. Keep on squishing.
That'd be great.
Get a professional up top to watch.
Ready, guys? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1.
Look at him, he's still taking pictures.
Got it.
Wait, Chris, hold on.
One more.
Got it. Thank you. Thank you.
I wasn't looking. Exactly. I was gonna say. I was looking to look this way.
While people file out, I'll just give one more shout out to Millette and her team.
Award-winning team.
Award-winning team. As council representatives, we spend time going to different neighborhood associations on occasion, but her and her mighty three-person team, between the three of them, make it to every single one of them. And sometimes they're really fun, and sometimes they're not as fun for various reasons, right? Sometimes people have really hard questions for staff and things like that, and they take it all with a smile and provide really good resources and really good answers. So thank you to Millette and her team one last time.
Okay, yeah, thanks for putting all that on. Great comments, Councilmember Ewing. Next item considered tonight is public hearing 2025-379, and we have Ms.
I was going to give a little plug that we do have some plan commission openings, but they were left already. So. All right. Honorable Mayor, members of the council, this is a public hearing to consider an ordinance of the City of Waco, Texas, adding the honorary name of Ernesto Fraga Street to a portion of 29th Street between Dutton Avenue and Spate Avenue in the City of Waco, McLennan County, Texas. Authorizing changing the city plan to include the honorary name, authorizing changing the City of Waco maps, providing for additional street signs, providing a severability clause, and finding and determining that the meeting at which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. The Plan Commission passed this, provided a recommendation to approve by 8-0 vote on May 27th, 2025. And just to note that as an honorary street name, the official name of the street does not officially change, so no one will have to go change their addresses or anything like that.
Makes sense. Are there any questions for staff? No questions? I'll now open a public hearing for comments. Is anyone present who'd like to speak regarding this request? Seeing no speakers, we will now close the public hearing. Is there a motion?
Move for approval on first reading.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? You just adjusting? You're gonna?
Sorry, just trying to get in the mic.
Right.
Sorry about that.
Nope. No discussion? All right, Secretary Spikes, please poll the council.
Fairfield,
Yes.
Lozano,
Yes.
Borderoud,
Yes.
Ewing,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, that motion passes. Next item to consider is public hearing 2025-380. Director Wagstaff.
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, this is a public hearing to consider an ordinance of the City of Waco, Texas, amending certain portions of the Code of Ordinances, Chapters 11, Flood Prevention and Protection, 22, Streets, Sidewalk, and Certain Other Public Places, 23, Right-of-Way Management, 25, Traffic and Vehicles, and 26, Utilities for the purposes of incorporating amendments to align with the National Flood Insurance Program and with FEMA policy and recommendations, to align meter testing specifications with American Water Works Association standards, to allow for certain accessory structures without requiring a floodplain variance, to adjust requirements concerning building heights above base flood elevation, freeboard requirements, to align with previously adopted stormwater design criteria, to adjust titles in accordance with the recent city departmental reorganization, and to align with and to remove design criteria that is replicated within the previously adopted street design criteria, stormwater design criteria, and water and wastewater design criteria. And 2, multiple sections of Appendix B subdivisions for the purposes of adding, removing, and updating definitions, updating the preliminary plat approval process to allow for administrative approval of minor conditions, removing specific design requirements for streets, utilities, and drainage, providing a definition for and providing reference to adopted guiding documents, removing and updating plat requirements relating to on-site sewage facilities, adding or updating document titles throughout the ordinance as necessary, and requirements for subdivision performance guarantees, repealing all ordinances or parts of ordinances in conflict herewith, providing for inclusion in the code, providing for penalties, providing a savings clause, providing a severability clause, and finding and determining that the meeting at which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. The Planning Commission did consider this item on May 27th, and 8-0 recommended approval. I do have a couple slides since we didn't get to discuss this during work session. So again, the first slide is just kind of giving some I'm sorry, the slide you have in front of you, okay, first slide, back and forth. First slide is outlining the chapters that we're amending. The second slide is going over some of the additional, if we could change to the next slide, please. There we go. Some of the additional amendments that we're doing in the subdivision ordinance. One is adding, removing, and updating definitions accordingly. We're also updating the preliminary plat approval process to allow for administrative approval of minor conditions and corrections, similar to what we do for final plat now, so that we do not have to bring it back to Plan Commission for those minor corrections. Removing and updating plat requirements relating to on-site sewage facilities. For lots that meet the 1 acre requirement, we're lessening the signature requirements for that to help speed up the recording process. And then updating requirements for subdivision performance guarantees, to which they would be 125% of the cost and include the engineer's estimate. The value of the 125% cost, requiring a performance guarantee, is more of our optional process for bonding a subdivision. Typically, subdividers build the improvements first, and then we record the plat. Occasionally, we do get performance guarantees submitted. We want to ensure that the city has adequate funds through that guarantee to put those improvements in the event that something happens and the development does not get finished. So 125% of that cost to protect the city. The next slide, please. I do have my lifelines here, Roger Glick and Mike Norman, to help me answer any questions that come up on these other chapters. Additional changes in Chapter 11, amendments to align the ordinance with the National Flood Insurance Program and FEMA policy recommendations, provide clarification of variance requirements, allowing certain accessory structures without requiring a floodplain variance, and then adjusting requirements concerning building heights above base flood elevation to align with previously adopted storm water design criteria. Next slide, please. And then additional amendments in Chapter 26, utilities, aligning meter testing specifications with the American Water Works Association standards. All the other changes are just to bring the ordinances in line with the design standards that were adopted in February. I'm done now. Thank you.
Are there any questions for staff? Yeah, a nice presentation. As we went through it, it is basically conforming everything with the criteria, the design criteria that we talked about a few months ago. Correct. Just to the guiding documents from a few months ago. Okay. There's no other questions for staff. I'll open a public hearing for comments. Is anyone present who'd like to speak regarding this request? Seeing no speakers, we'll close the public hearing. Is there a motion?
I'll move for approval.
I'll second that.
We have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Seeing none, Secretary Spikes, will you please poll the council?
Fairfield,
Yes.
Lozano,
Yes.
Porterrood,
Yes.
Ewing,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, that motion passes. The next item to consider is public hearing 2025-381, Assistant Director Wagstaff.
Yes, a couple slides on this one as well. Honorable Mayor and members of the council, tonight we are resuming the public hearing, and upon closure of the public hearing, considering an ordinance rezoning from R1B to plan unit development for a concept plan known as Hilltop Heights PUD, consisting of 63 single-family residential lots on property beginning approximately 350 feet southeast of the intersection of Loop 340 and Kendall Lane on approximately 10.71 acres, being described as an 8.042 acre and a 2.666 acre tract of land situated in the Thomas de la Vega Survey, Abstract 42, McLennan County, Texas. This item was, as I mentioned, continued during the May 20th City Council meeting. We, as staff, did meet with the developer and their builders and discuss some of the concerns that were brought up during that meeting. Yesterday, we did receive new design documents. Oh, he's got it. I did pass them out at your seats this afternoon. So you can see that they are proposing, they reiterated some of their designs on their houses. They're also showing here how it would work regarding the required location of different housing styles along the block. I would like to note that there was a written statement as well that addresses the setback. So if we can go to the next slide, please. Apologize for my rough drawing here. But what you're seeing in the yellow is where the developer is proposing for the sidewalk to go. So on those lots, he is proposing that those lots would have a 25-foot setback. And then the lots that do not have sidewalk, keeping them as a 20-foot setback, and those would be shown in pink up there. I would like to emphasize that this is a plan unit development. So although the design criteria, as we reviewed it with staff, do meet the zoning ordinance, as a plan unit development, that gives flexibility, allowing a developer to reduce some of the restrictions, but in return, conditions can be placed on the PUD meeting the needs of the city. So keep that in mind. This is not a standard zone change, nor is it a standard plat. So that does provide some flexibility in these discussions. And I believe that the developer is here if you have any questions concerning his amended plans.
Are there any questions for staff, first of all?
So not every street in this PUD will have a sidewalk on it, is that right?
As proposed right now, that is correct. The sidewalk is shown in yellow, but then it also, I'm not showing it here, but it does extend down, and then as an amenities, proposing to put a sidewalk all the way to Buena Vista Park outside this development to create more regional ability for people to frequent that park space.
And about how far away from like one edge of the roof line to the other are each property? Like how close together are these properties?
I
think it'd be
believe
5
they're
feet.
showing a 5-foot side setback
5-foot side setback.
5 foot from the property
from
line?
property line. Yes, sir.
So 10 feet?
When you all were having the conversation with the developer, and I see Mr. Jackson is here, in exchange for granting a PUD to have the smaller lot sizes, were there some development offers or current base development required or standards? I mean, did y'all talk about or negotiate any of those things?
The only thing that was negotiated was the extending the sidewalk to Buena Vista Park. That would have been outside of our requirements.
Any other questions for staff? I'll now open a public hearing for comments, and I see the applicant is here. Mr. Jackson, would you like to say anything? As you approach the podium, please state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes to address council.
Okay. Larry W. Jackson, 13004 Rainier Drive, Woodway, Texas, 76712. I just asked that City Council approve the PUD application so we can move forward. We met all the city requirements, and this project is just like other projects that we do that got 40-foot lots. And we did take out the one floor plan that was in question and met the architectural designs for all the rest of them in the one that's there, the single story that's there.
Any questions for Mr. Jackson? Thank you, Mr. Jackson. Appreciate it. Are there any other proponents on this hearing item? Are there any opponents on this hearing item? Is anyone else present who'd like to speak regarding this item? Seeing no speakers, we'll now close the public hearing, and I'll entertain a motion.
I know we just got an email on this a few hours before the council meeting, and I know we've got some concerns. I would say some concerns are the amount of parking that's going to be on the street for streets that don't have sidewalks, And so I worry about that. I worry about, even with the variance, the affordability of these lots under the PUD. I mean, I think we need some more information on these things. I don't know how my fellow council members feel about that.
You want to put that in the form of a motion, and then we'll discuss it? I called for the motion.
Sure.
The reason those other street lots don't have, oh, I'm sorry.
Public hearing is closed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I move to continue it to the next public hearing.
Okay.
Which is the 17th?
I would second that motion. And then we can move to discussion.
Yeah, we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion?
Point of clarification, Mayor. Are we continuing the public hearing to the next meeting, or are we closing the public hearing and continuing the discussion? I just want to be clear on whether the public hearing is complete for the first reading.
That's a good question.
I guess we can, do you want to keep the public hearing open so we can?
Public hearing
I believe if we're not going to conclude the first reading, we need to keep the public hearing open through to the next
So in that
meeting.
regard, can Mr. Jackson continue to speak?
If you're at the point where you're making motions to continue and to postpone the item, the only discussion is whether to or not to continue the item.
So then I guess what I mean for my motion to say is I continue the public hearing to the next council meeting.
And so then we would need to reopen the public hearing and move to continue it. And the only discussion is whether to continue it or not to continue it, and we would vote upon that motion.
Okay, so you're directing that I reopen the public.
I'm recommending that you reopen the
We're
public
reopening
hearing.
the
yes.
public hearing.
Recommending.
We're reopening the public hearing, and we will continue the discussion of the motion in the second. But that's it. Mr. Jackson can't.
Correct.
Okay. All right. Any discussion? Is that clear? Mayor Pro Tem? Okay, let's have the discussion, or not.
Discussing whether or not to postpone it. I agree that we should, and again, it is not, I am for building more quality homes in the city of Waco. I want to work with developers to come to an agreement on PUDs as they come through to make sure that they are beneficial for the city as a whole, as well as the individuals that are going to be purchasing those homes. Unfortunately, with this right now, having just received the updates, and this was, it was not the main issue last time. To Mr. Jackson's credit, he took time to answer a lot of our questions last time, but it was an issue last time that I had not seen what he was talking about, and unfortunately, I did not receive these until a few hours ago. So I would like a little bit more time with them and to look at it now and say, okay, this does check sort of the boxes that I had in mind when we last discussed this, or it does not, and move forward from there. So I am in favor of continuing the public hearing.
Any other comments or discussion? I'll just say I appreciate Mr. Jackson bringing us this information. Yeah, I know we asked for it at the last meeting, and you were diligent enough to bring it to us, and I don't think any of us had a chance to look at it. And I know that PUDs are a little bit higher standard than you can go ahead and build whatever the density is in there by right. But we have a little bit higher density in this one, and we're very excited about how this will work or can work with the detention pond. And I like your creativity about the green spaces, the Buena Vista Park right next. So we're creating some connectivity there to make these houses kind of an entry-level pricing point. So let's just stay engaged here for one more period so we can all get a chance to look at this and respond. And with that, I will poll the council, please, Secretary Sparks.
Mayor, may I clarify also, Councilmember Borderoud, what date you would like to continue the meeting to?
The next council meeting, which I think is the 17th.
June 17th? Yes, sir.
Okay, now please poll the council, Secretary Sparks.
Fairfield,
Yes.
Lozano. Yes. Borderoud,
Yes.
Ewing,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, and that motion passes. The next item to consider is public hearing 2025-382. Assistant Director Wagstaff.
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, this is a public hearing to consider a resolution granting a special permit to CarMax Auto Superstores, Inc. for automobile sales in an M2 light industrial district for property described as approximately 4.740 acres of land, being generally located approximately 800 feet south of the intersection of Vista View Drive and southbound I-35 access road. The Planning Commission considered this request on May 27, 2025, and recommends approval, subject to the special provisions and conditions, and based on the following findings. One, that the proposed use is consistent with the comprehensive plan and the purposes and intent of Chapter 28 zoning of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Waco. Two, that the proposed use is compatible with the appropriate and orderly development of the area in which it is located. Three, that the proposed use would not be more objectionable to neighboring properties because of traffic, congestion, noise, fumes, vibration, and any other characteristics other than permitted in the zoning district without the grant of a special exception. That available community facilities and services, including the road system providing access to the proposed use, are adequate for the proposed use. They did impose some special provisions and conditions, and they are included within the attached ordinance.
Thank you, Assistant Director Wagstaff. Are there any questions for staff?
Does this have a previous or existing use prior to what it's being?
No, it's vacant.
Okay.
Any other questions? I'll now open a public hearing for comments, and we have some cards on here. The applicant, or Rick, how do you want to do this? I've got 3 cards, one, and they're all marked applicant. One's from Kristen Cohen, Bradley Escobar, and Wes Eustace. But come on up, Rick.
Thank you, Mayor. And
We have 3, state your name and address for the record. You have 3 minutes.
obviously an honor and a pleasure to appear again before the council. I'm come on behalf of CarMax for the approval of this special permit. I've got people on behalf of CarMax, Kristen Cohen and Peyton McNeil of Basin Engineering and Bradley Escobar of CarMax. And we appreciate, obviously, the unanimous approval of the Planning Commission and the city staff approval as well. And we would ask that the City Council approve this special permit and hopefully welcome CarMax to Waco.
Thank you, Mr. Boswick. We have other cards. I'll go ahead and call them if you'd like to say, if you'd like to approach the podium, that's great. Kristen Cohen. Also as part of the applicant. Kristen, you have 3 minutes.
Good afternoon. My name is Kristen Cowan, address 1626 Cole Boulevard, Lakewood, Colorado. I'm a development manager with CenterPoint Integrated Solutions, and we're CarMax's national development partner. I'm joined here with Bradley Escobar, manager with CarMax, as well as Wes Eustace with Basin Engineering. Peyton McNeil was with us at the Planning Commission hearing. CarMax is so excited to bring a new CarMax Auto Superstore to Waco, and I appreciate city staff who worked with us through a pre-application meeting, as well as providing comments and great direction in our application for the special permit. We're also working with the developer who has already had the preliminary plat approved, and we'll be working with them for infrastructure, for all of the infrastructure improvements associated with this. Again, CarMax is happy to answer any questions that we can, if there are any questions on the application, and appreciate your consideration tonight.
Thank you, Ms. Cowan. Our next card is Bradley Escobar.
Also just wanted to say that unless there are any questions, we didn't really have additional comments prepared, just we filled out the cards in case there were additional questions.
Okay.
Unless, Bradley, do you want to say some?
Come on, Bradley.
Okay, great.
Bradley's ready to go.
Good evening. I'm Bradley Escobar, 12800 Tuckahoe Creek Parkway, Banneker-Sabot, Virginia. CarMax is extremely excited to be coming to the city of Waco. We see the growth, we see what you guys are doing, and we can't wait to be a part of that. So we hope you make the right choice, and we are very excited to be coming to town. So thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Escobar. And Wes Eustace, would you like to say anything as part of the application?
Wes Eustace, 2811 Toulouse Street, New Orleans, Louisiana. We are with Basin Engineering. We're CarMax's civil engineer, here to answer any questions you may have on the project itself and hope for your approval. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Eustace. Is there anyone else present who'd like to speak tonight regarding this request? Seeing no further speakers, we'll close the public hearing. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
We have a motion for approval and a second. Any discussion? Happy that you guys all came out for this deal. We're excited to have CarMax as part of the community. Secretary Spikes, please poll the council.
Fairfield.
Yes.
Lozano.
Yes.
Porterrood.
Yes.
Ewing.
Yes.
Chase.
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, that motion passes. The next item to consider is public hearing 2025-383. Assistant Director Wagstaff.
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, this is a public hearing to consider a resolution granting a renewal of a special permit to Mission Waco Mission World, Inc. for a transitional shelter 2 in an O3 district on property described as Lot 15, Block 5, West End Addition, known as 2324 Gorman Avenue. Planning Commission did consider this request on May 27th, 2025, and recommended approval by vote of 8-0 to approve the request for a period of 5 years based on the required findings outlined in section 28-122 that were read into the record at the last public hearing, and also in accordance with the standard provisions and conditions that are attached to your ordinance.
Are there any questions for staff?
Was the last approval on a 5-year basis as well?
It was a 3-year basis, but we have not received any complaints or any concerns. In fact, we did receive one comment card in support of the
Wonderful.
application.
Great.
Question? Any other questions? I'll now open a public hearing for comments, and we do have one card from Kathy Wise. Okay, Kathy's available for questions if we have any. Is there anyone else present who'd like to speak regarding this request? Seeing no speakers, I'll close the public hearing. Do I hear a motion?
Move for approval on first reading. Second reading. My apologies.
Second reading. We have a motion to approve on second reading and a second. Any discussion? Secretary Spikes, please poll the council.
Fairfield.
Yes.
Lozano.
Yes.
Porterrood.
Yes.
Ewing.
Yes.
Chase.
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, that motion passes. The next item to consider is public hearing 2025-384. Assistant Director Wagstaff.
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, this is a public hearing to consider an ordinance changing the zoning from general industrial M3 to office limited commercial O3 on approximately 0.1894 acres located at 1905 Webster Avenue. Planning Commission did consider this item on May 27th and recommended by a vote of 8-0 to approve the request to change the zoning based on the following findings. One, that the proposed zoning is in keeping with the land use component of the comprehensive plan, bringing the zoning in line with the current office industrial flex designation. 2, the public infrastructure will be adequate to provide for the uses allowed in the O3 zoning district. Number 3, the property meets all of the area and width requirements for the O3 zoning district. 4, there is O3 in the vicinity of the subject property. And 5, office and commercial uses permitted within O3 could operate as a buffer between the residential uses located to the southeast and the industrial zoning toward the north and west of the subject property. We did mail out 27 notices and 0 were returned on this request.
Any questions for staff on this public hearing? Seeing none, I'll open a public hearing for comments. Is anyone present who would like to speak regarding this request? Seeing no speakers, I'll close the public hearing. Is there a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Secretary Spikes, please pull the council.
Fairfield,
Yes.
Lozano,
Yes.
Porterud,
Yes.
Ewing,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, that motion passes. The next item to consider is public hearing 2025-385. Assistant Director Wagstaff.
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, this is a public hearing to consider an ordinance of the City of Waco, Texas, providing that the comprehensive plan be amended to change the land use designation from suburban residential to office industrial flex on approximately 46.30 acres, according to the deed to Harris Creek Baptist Church recorded under McLennan County Clerk's document 2022-048358 of the official public records of McLennan County, Texas, located in the Archibald Willingham Survey Abstract 898 and the Isaac Pitts Survey Abstract 713 in the City of Waco, McLennan County, Texas, and being out of the remainder of a called 521.33 acres described in a deed to SunWest Land LTD, recorded in volume 219, page 252 of the official public records of McLennan County, Texas, located approximately 600 feet east of the intersection of West Highway 84 and SunWest Boulevard, known as 27501 West Highway 84, providing that the Code of Ordinances be amended by revising Section 28-247 and Chapter 28 zoning of the code, providing that the zoning map shall be changed so that, 1, an approximately 27.97 acre portion out of the called 46.30 acre tract described above shall be changed from R1B to O2 district classification, and 2, an approximately 18.33 acre portion out of the called 46.30 acre tract described above shall be changed from R1B to C2 district classification, providing for penalties, providing a savings clause, providing a severability clause, and finding and determining that the meeting at which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. The Plan Commission did consider this request on May 27th, 2025, and upon a vote of 8-0, recommended approval of the land use plan change from suburban residential to office industrial flex based on the following finding. Number 1, that public infrastructure is adequate to provide for zoning districts allowed in the proposed office industrial flex land use designation. And then also recommended approval of the request to change the zoning from R1B to O2 and C2 based on the following findings. 1, the proposed zoning aligns with the land use component of the comprehensive plan as revised. 2, the property meets the area and width requirements for the O2 and C2 zoning districts respectively. 3, the existing public infrastructure is adequate to accommodate the uses permitted in the O2 and C2 zoning districts respectively. And 4, O2 and C2 zoning is present in the vicinity of the subject property along Highway 84, indicating consistency with the surrounding area. Staff did mail out 35 notices, and 1 was returned with questions.
Are there any questions for staff? I will now open a public hearing for comments. Is anyone present who'd like to speak regarding this request? Mr. Bell.
Good evening, council. My name is Jacob Bell with Walker Partners, 823 Washington Avenue is the address. We are the applicant on behalf of Harris Creek Baptist Church. Executive Pastor John Passavant is also in the audience. We're here to answer any questions you may have. As the main question that has come up is, what are the plans, or are there any plans? And the answer is, as of now, there are no definite plans. The church is looking into options, and the idea of changing the zoning is this just maximizes their flexibility for the future. So there are no definite plans. They're still in the exploration phase on that.
Thank you, Mr. Bell. Any questions? of Mr. Bell? No. Is anyone else present who'd like to speak regarding this request? Seeing no speakers, we'll close the public hearing. Do I hear a motion?
Move for approval on first reading.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Secretary Spikes, please poll the council.
Fairfield,
Yes.
Lozano,
Yes.
Porterwood,
Yes.
Ewing,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, that motion passes. The next item to consider is public hearing 2025-386. Assistant Director Wagstaff.
Honorable Mayor, members of the council, this is an ordinance of the City of Waco, Texas, closing the 7th Street right-of-way between Austin Avenue and the alley between Austin Avenue and Franklin Avenue for the 7th Street Plaza in the City of Waco, McLennan County, Texas, directing city maps to be changed to reflect the closure, retaining all rights, title, and interest in the right-of-way, providing a severability clause, and finding and determining that the meeting at which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. The City Plan Commission did consider this item on May 27th, 2025, and recommended approval by a vote of 8-0 based on the following finding. Number one, that this portion of right-of-way is not required for the proper flow of traffic and for emergency vehicle access to the area. And then with a condition that closure of this right-of-way shall comply with all requirements of fire services. Just to note that a street closure is different than an abandonment of a street in that we still retain that right-of-way in there. It's just going to be officially closed. We know it's been closed for a while, but officially closed to traffic if approved.
Great. Any questions for staff on this 7th Street closure? I'll now open a public hearing for comments. Is there anyone present who'd like to speak regarding this request? Seeing no speakers, we'll close the public hearing. Is there a motion?
A motion we approve?
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion on this item?
Just really excited to get this done. I had the Community Paint Day on Saturday, this past Saturday, and I think they're doing another kind of little fun event for it later this week. So really excited to get this finalized and open to the public again.
Yeah, it looks like a fun project. Secretary Spikes, will you please poll the council?
Fairfield,
Yes.
Lozano,
Yes.
Porterwood,
Yes.
Ewing,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye. That motion passes. The next item to consider is the consent agenda. The consent agenda includes Resolution 2025-387 through Resolution 2025-411, including Resolution 2025-389, regarding which 4 council members have filed ASIs under the Texas Local Government Code 171.004C. A majority of the members have filed, therefore no members are required to abstain, and all council members may vote on that item. Is there a motion on the consent agenda?
Move for approval.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion?
Mayor, just briefly, I think I'm allowed to speak on the various
Yeah.
resolutions. I just wanted to, again, just reiterate my gratitude for the ownership group there at the lot next to Pinewood. I see a member out here, JD, and their public spiritedness in selling this to the city for development as a park. Again, wanted to thank Councilmember Darius Ewing, our city management team, our city attorney, Kristen. Thanks for making this happen. Jonathan, I see Jonathan Cook out there. I know the negotiations went a little long, but I think it's going to be worth it when this gets developed. So again, thanks to all involved. I think this is an exciting new era there in the Austin Avenue neighborhood.
Yeah, I second that, and it's been no secret that we've wanted to have sort of a pilot pocket park, not just for the sake of alliteration, but because this is the first time we've had an opportunity to do a park on less than 3 acres. So we get a chance to get really creative and involve efforts and insights from members of the community on what they want to see there. And yes, definite thank you to the staff that worked on this. I know we had to get really creative on putting this one together. And thank you to the lovely folks at Steamed Carriage Holdings, as Josh said, one of whom is here today, JD Beard in the crowd, for getting this one across the finish line. It's both exciting and anxiety-inducing when it comes down to the wire like it did here, but I'm glad we were able to get it done. For people, if you are following along in your agenda, this is Resolution 392 that we're discussing here. So been in the works for a while and really excited to get it done.
Any other discussion on any of the resolutions? Secretary Sparks, will you please poll the council?
Fairfield,
Yes.
Lozano,
Yes.
Borderood,
Yes.
Ewing,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, that motion passes. The next item on the agenda is ordinance number 2025-412, City Attorney Hamilton Karam.
An ordinance of the City of Waco, Texas, providing that the comprehensive plan be amended to change the land use designation from urban residential to mixed-use flex on property containing approximately 7 acres described as Lot 2, Block 1 of the Pacific Operating Company Addition located at the south corner of East Herring Avenue and Dallas Street, property ID 333870, providing that the Code of Ordinance be amended by revising Section 28-247 in Chapter 28 zoning of the code, providing that the zoning map shall be changed so that an approximately 1.5 acre portion of the property described above shall be changed from C3 to O2 district classification, providing for penalties, providing a savings clause, providing a severability clause, and finding and determining that the meeting at which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. This ordinance was approved by a 6-0 council vote on first reading on May 20th, 2025.
Is there a motion?
Move for approval on second reader.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Secretary Sparks, will you please poll the council?
Fairfield,
Yes.
Lozano,
Yes.
Borderood,
Yes.
Ewing,
Yes.
Chase, Holmes.
Aye, that motion passes. Next item on the agenda is ordinance 2025-413, City Attorney Hamilton Karam.
An ordinance of the City of Waco, Texas, providing that the comprehensive plan be amended to change the land use designation from mixed-use flex to medium-density residential office flex on property containing approximately 1.0616 acres described as lots 3 through 7, Block 36, Farewell Heights Edition, known as 1908, 1912, 1916, 1920, and 1924 Summer Avenue. Property IDs 1727559, 1727660, 1727661, and 1727662. And Lot 2B, Block 36, Farewell Heights Edition, being 0.12 acres of land in the city of Waco, McLennan County, Texas, being out of Lot 2, Block 36, Farewell Heights Addition to the City of Waco, McLennan County, Texas, as per plat recorded in Volume 91, page 278 of the deed records of McLennan County, Texas, being that called 0.114 acres of land described in a deed to Benjamin Martinez and wife, Cindy Fernandez, recorded under McLennan County Clerk's File Number 20240426673 of Official Public Records of McLennan County, Texas, known as 1904 Summer Avenue, property ID 172758, providing that the Code of Ordinances be amended by revising Section 28-147 in Chapter 28 zoning of the code, providing that the zoning map shall be changed so that the properties described above as lots 2B-4, Block 36, Farewell Heights Edition, known as 1904, 1908, and 1912 Summer Avenue, shall be changed from C3 to R2 district classification, providing for penalties, providing a savings clause, providing a severability clause, and finding and determining that the meeting at which this ordinance is passed is open to the public as required by law. This ordinance was approved by 6-0 council vote on first reading on May 20th, 2025.
Thank you, City Attorney. Is there a motion?
Move for approval on second reader.
Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Secretary Sparks, please poll the council.
Fairfield,
Yes.
Lozano,
Yes.
Borderood,
Yes.
Ewing,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, that motion passes. Next item on the agenda is ordinance number 2025-414, City Attorney Hamilton Karam.
An ordinance of the City of Waco, Texas, providing for the extension of certain boundary limits of the City of Waco, Texas, and the annexation of certain territory consisting of 2 tracts of land containing approximately 1.253 acres of land, more or less. Tract 1 described as being a 1.088 acre, 47,406 square foot tract of land situated in the Carlos Ocampo survey abstract number 32, McLennan County, Texas, and being a portion of a called 69.993 acre tract of land described in the warranty deed to LBT Limited Partnership recorded in document 2011-024626 of the official public records of McLennan County, Texas, and tract 2 described as being a 0.1646 acre, 7,171 square foot tract of land situated in the Carlos Ocampo survey. Abstract number 32, McLennan County, Texas, and being a portion of a called 3.145 acre tract of land described in the special warranty deed to PCRIF Waco Gateway LLC, undivided 68.338% interest, Cunningham Interest 2 Limited, undivided 29.63 interest, and Brown Capital Group Limited Liability Company, undivided 2.04% interest. Recorded in document number 2024001-703 of the official public records of McLennan County, Texas, generally located approximately 2,500 feet south of Vista View Drive along the southbound I-35 access road, and further located within Waco's extraterritorial jurisdiction, which said territory lies adjacent to and adjoins the present boundaries of the city of Waco, Texas. Providing for the designation of industrial as the comprehensive plan land use designation and the designation of M2 light industrial district zoning, assigning the annexed territory to the City Council District 3, establishing and amending City of Waco Precinct 60 to include the annexed territory, directing that the city precinct district map be revised to reflect that change, and providing voting location at any City of Waco vote center, providing that said territory bears pro rata part of taxes and entitling inhabitants to all rights and privileges of residents, and binding inhabitants to acts and laws of the city, adopting a service plan, providing a severability clause, providing for publishing of ordinance, providing for penalties, providing a savings clause, and finding and determining that the meeting at which this ordinance was passed is open to the public as required by law. This ordinance was approved by a 6-0 council vote on first reading on May 20th, 2025.
Thank you, City Attorney Hamilton Karam. Is there a motion on this voluntary annexation?
Move for approval.
Second.
We have an approval and we have a second. Is there any discussion? Secretary Spikes, would you please poll the council?
Fairfield,
Yes.
Lozano,
Yes.
Yes.
Porterrood, Ewing,
Yes.
Chase,
Yes.
Holmes.
Aye, that motion passes. The next item to consider is the hearing of visitors, and during the hearing of visitors section of the agenda, we provide an opportunity for the public to present concerns or address issues that are not matters for consideration listed on the agenda. The council is unable to conduct a discussion, but will listen, ask staff to look into concerns, and provide follow-up. Please provide registration information so that staff can contact you if necessary. If you have handouts, please let us know at the beginning of your presentation, and staff will distribute those to the council. If you're unable to approach the podium due to physical limitations, a microphone is available to be brought to you. We have a couple of cards tonight. The first card is from Dennis Watkins. Dennis, are you here tonight? Calling for Dennis Watkins. Going once, going twice. Dennis is not making it tonight. He did have a card. Our other card here tonight is Ephraim Herring. Mr. Herring?
My name is Ephraim Herring. I live at 1044 Chestnut Street. I come to you today. First of all, I'm going to thank God for giving me, let me have a 14-day fast so I can get here to talk to y'all, because it might be my last time talking to y'all, breathing. There's an app out that your high school students and some adults are using that has my picture on it and has my truck on it. Continue doing it. All I'm asking is that y'all be safe when you do that. because I already seen almost 2 accidents because they're trying to give the information of where my truck is and where I'm at. I thank God for giving me a chance to tell her that, because I have. That was one of my things. But my last thing is I'm gonna talk to you about is I found a solution to my property. 8.5 years, but solutions is simple. Your home development group has a drawing of my property as it was built in 2017. It also has everything on that property that was not in accordance with the drawing. All I've been asking for the last 7 years, 8 years, is to put that drawing in the file so whoever buys my property goes to that file and see the exact drawings on that property. I never thought in a million years that something so simple would cost me my life. I never called in another accident. Someone asked me the other day too about why people don't call in. I called in an accident and I'm taking the punishment for that. There's a couple in Cedric Heights that they almost got in an accident. Tell them they can take my picture. I'm not gonna bite them. I'm not gonna chase them. All I did was call an accident. And I'm taking my punishment for calling an accident. Y'all be safe, God be safe, and I'll try to stay away from y'all because whatever they got planned for me, they're alive and I don't want it to happen to you. God bless you, y'all be safe.
Thank you, Mr. Herring. Is there anyone else present who'd like to speak during the hearing of visitors tonight? Seeing no one, will close the hearing of visitors. Are there any announcements that council would like to make in this particular juncture of the meeting tonight?
Mayor, I want to give a big shout out to the Midway softball team, yet another state champion from McClellan County and especially from here in Waco, Texas. As you know, City of Waco is the largest municipality of residents that supply that make up the Midway ISD school district. And so really excited for the girls on the softball team, bringing credit to our community, and excited for the guys playing in the state championship tournament this coming weekend, which is going to be another exciting tournament. We've done so well in baseball here, our community, and it's good to see Midway shining bright there.
I'll just shout out, just to tag on to that, Midway is not in my district, not close, but their head baseball coach, Eddie Kornblum, was the Belton head baseball coach when I was growing up and in high school, and I got to know him really well, so it's really exciting to see him, get to state. And I'll never forget, his last baseball game that he coached when I was in high school was in the middle of nowhere, Texas, at some, random field, and we, lost, a very dramatic, ninth inning run the other team scored, and so it's just very cool to get to see him make it to the state championship, just to tag on to that, so.
Agreed. We got some great softball teams in Central Texas, Midway, and then Robinson and Riesel. We've got a lot of softball champions in Central Texas, and we've got the baseball team still going.
I mean, if we're talking baseball and softball, both MCC teams made it to the national championship tournament. They didn't prevail, but both teams had excellent seasons.
Represented us very well over there.
Absolutely. And Mayor, just because we won't be together before the Juneteenth parade, the Central Texas African American Chamber hosts their annual Juneteenth parade. It's going to be on the 14th, beginning at Heritage Square. Isn't that right? That's where we line up. And down to Quinn Campus. I think we're back to the original route. So.
Without the diversion.
I mean, Elm Avenue, we're just going to hashtag Elm. But we're.
This Saturday.
It's the 14th, so next Saturday. But we won't be back here until the 17th. So we look forward to
Saturday week.
All of the community coming out because it's an amazing parade, an amazing day. Shout out to City of Waco staff, certainly our park staff, because we will be hosting June's first Brazos Night, I think. And we've got an awesome lineup, so that'll be the 20th. We'll be able to talk about that at the next meeting, but I'm putting a lot of things together in celebration of Juneteenth in the city of Waco.
Great, looking forward to it. Any other comments? Are there any council requests for scheduling future agenda items? There being no further business, this business session of June 3rd, 2025 is adjourned at 7:11 p.m.